in the cozy little town of Meadowbrook. Nestled between rolling hills and a whispering forest, lived a boy named Leo. Leo wasn't just any boy. His heart was filled with a thirst for adventure, and his head was brimming with questions about the world beyond his garden fence. One rainy afternoon, while exploring his grandma's dusty attic, he stumbled upon an old wooden chest. Inside, beneath stacks of forgotten quilts, lay a map. But it wasn't an ordinary map. It glowed with a soft, golden light, and the ink seemed to dance on the parchment. It showed a path through the Whispering Woods to a place called the Crystal Caves, where a legendary sunstone was said to be hidden. The Sunstone! Leo gasped. Grandma's bedtime stories were filled with tales of the Sunstone, a gem that could make the saddest person smile. With his heart thumping with excitement, Leo grabbed his little backpack, a flashlight, and a magical map. His biggest adventure was about to begin. The Whispering Woods weren't as scary as the stories claimed. Sunlight dappled through the leaves, and the trees seemed to hum a gentle tune. Soon, Leo met his first challenge. A wide, babbling brook blocked his path. As he wondered how to cross, a grumpy-looking beaver with spectacles perched on his nose popped his head out of the water. Ahem. State your business, young man. The beaver grumbled, adjusting his glasses. This is a private waterway, you know? Leo smiled politely. I'm on a quest to find the Sunstone, he explained. The map says I need to cross here. The beaver, whose name was Barnaby, huffed. The Sunstone. A noble quest. But the bridge is out. My latest dam project. A bit too ambitious. You see? He looked a little embarrassed. Leo thought for a moment. Maybe I can help. If we work together, we can fix it. Barnabas's eyes lit up. Together, they gathered sturdy branches and strong vines. Leo was surprisingly good at tying knots, and Barnaby was an expert at construction. In no time, they had built a small, sturdy bridge. Well, I'll be a soggy log. You're quite handy, Barnaby said, genuinely impressed. For your kindness, take this. He handed Leo a smooth, flat stone. It's a skimming stone. It'll always find its way back to you. Might come in handy. Leo thanked Barnaby and continued his journey, the map glowing brighter now. He soon entered a meadow filled with giggling flowers and mischievous sprites who tried to lead him astray with riddles. Leo, remembering his grandma's advice to always listen carefully, solved their puzzles and they giggled, pointing him in the right direction. Finally, he reached the entrance to the Crystal Caves. It was breathtaking. The walls shimmered with 1,000 colors, but inside, it was a dark, confusing labyrinth. Just as Leo started to feel a little lost, he heard a tiny whimper. Following the sound, he found a small fox cub with its paw stuck between two heavy crystals. Don't worry, little guy, I'll help you, Leo whispered gently. He carefully, slowly, pushed the crystals apart, just enough for the cub to free its paw. The cub yelped with joy and licked Leo's hand before scampering off, revealing a hidden passage behind where it had been trapped. The map pulsed, showing this was the correct way. At the heart of the cave, there it was. The Sunstone? It floated in midair, radiating a warm, joyful light that filled the entire chamber. It was more beautiful than Leo could have ever imagined, but it was just out of reach, across a deep chasm. Leo remembered the skimming stone. He took a deep breath, aimed carefully at a large crystal on the other side, and threw it. The stone skipped across the chasm, hit the crystal with an asterisk ping. Asterisk, and then, just as Barnaby had promised, it flew right back into his hand, trailing a magical rope of light behind it. It formed a solid bridge. Leo walked across the light bridge and gently took the Sunstone. As he held it, he didn't feel a sudden burst of power. Instead, he felt a warm wave of happiness, remembering his journey, helping Barnaby, solving the sprite's riddles, and saving the little fox. He realized the true magic wasn't just in the stone itself, but in the friendships he'd made and the kindness he'd shared along the way. The adventure was the real treasure. Holding the Sunstone, Leo returned to Meadowbrook just as the sun was setting. The Sunstone's glow made the whole town sparkle. He showed it to his grandma, who hugged him tightly. "Oh, Leo," she said, her eyes shining. "You didn't just find the sunstone. You found the courage and kindness that were inside you all along." From that day on, Leo had many more adventures, but he never forgot the greatest lesson he learned in the Crystal Caves. That the best treasures in the world are the friends we make and the love we share. And that, my friends, is a magic that everyone can find.